we're in a different spot, and this is the cabin that I showed you guys before that's across the street from our house, which is what that big tree is, which won't be there in a couple more days. But I wanted to show you guys this side. So we get sunrise on this side, sunset at our house. And not bad. Some guys fishing out there. That's the little cabin there. I gotta clean that up. That little awning crushed during our last storm. So I told them I would wrap that up and get it out to the garbage for them, but they got a grill for us in there. Got a little fire pit, a couple benches. Nice little yard. I'll take you guys inside, show you around, and then we'll talk about a few things. Alright, so we got the Pixel 5a here. You guys know I've done a little vlogging video on this, post some samples over on Instagram. It's a Pixel. The camera's amazing. It's a great phone. Pure Google. Right now you can get the, Google Android 12 beta on it. So, but anyways, I want to talk about a couple of these cases that got sent in. These are both from Vina. Links will be down below. This is the Commuter and the Armor. Both for the Pixel 5a, obviously. These are both space gray. But these are the boxes. One is very chungus. Both of them are pretty thick. I've had one out, so I'm going to pull the Commuter out already, because I had it out. But this is a big phone, or a big case, sorry. It's thick. I mean, you can see from the case, like, it's very thick. But nevertheless, you got your cutout for your fingerprint scanner deep in there. You got raised flat protection. I mean, it's a very well protected phone case, but very thick. But the thing about this one is on the back you have this like flap. You can fit a couple cards in here, a couple credit cards, but this is also like a stand. So you can set it in different angles depending on what you're trying to, accomplish. You can stand it upright, you can put it over, all that kind of stuff. So that's the sort of trick with that one. But let's take a look at this Armor, because this reminds me like old school, like, which, I mean, it doesn't remind me, it pretty much is. It's got like the belt clip. Like, this is what Larry used to rock back in the day. Like, you got a phone, you got a case with a belt clip for me? Gonna be at Verizon? That just shows how old I am, right? So this is it here. Got your belt clip. Should rotate around. Keep that bit line right on the belt. Locks in. I mean, it's your belt clip. This one actually doesn't even look as, well, it's exactly the same thickness as the Commute, but it doesn't have the stuff in the back. It's just got this cool, like, brushed metal design with, like, the fake bolts and whatnot. Got a little Vina branding at the bottom. Got a lot of drop protection in the corners and stuff. All the buttons feel really good on this, even though they're covered, but they feel really good. I like this one a lot, actually. You got a big area for your fingerprint scanner. It doesn't feel as thick as the Commuter because of that back area, but yeah, this is nice. Now, like I said, I don't think I'm a huge fan of the belt clip, but for those that want that, it's a good option. I still see people out there rocking these, so yeah. All right. That was our little tech snippet for the vlog. So thank you, Vina, for sending those out. I'll leave a link down below. This is it. Little dining room space here. This is going to be I'm going to convert this over. This is going to be my work spot for work and editing and videos and stuff. But we haven't really moved anything in here yet. We just got our variants. I can't really tell, but out that window is the garage. We'll go out there in a second, but we got our variance approved the other day, so we will be starting, I think they said maybe sometime next week we'll start. I just woke up. Start next week with the demolition and excavation. Will come down and tear down the garage and get the ground level, and then foundation and stuff like that. We're shooting for sometime around the 21st of this month. So fingers crossed all that goes well. And then we're probably going to stay at the house until they're ready to break in to the upstairs. But we signed the lease on this place. Like I said, it's right across the street. Super cheap, so it's not that big of a deal if we stay over here nonstop or not. But for now, it'll be a place for me to go over, do some editing, do some work during the week. When I'm working from home, I can be over here so I don't have any distractions over there. And then the kids come over and hang out and stuff. So let's do a little tour. So we'll start back here, I guess. This is where we just were. This, I guess, is the backyard, if you want to call it that, or the front yard, whatever. It faces the lake. The dining room, like I said, you got a little living room area, couch and love seat, a little chair there, or TV there, sorry, fireplace. It's a pretty cool spot. They got this loft upstairs. There's 2 beds up there, and then like this ladder with like this whole pulley system to get it up and out of the way, which I think is pretty dope. Like I said, when they're doing construction, that's our garage right there. It's getting tore down. So we could be right here watching everything go on. So win-win there. We got a little like galley style kitchen. Place is in pretty good shape. I wasn't sure how it was going to be. Then you got the front door here, or back door. Got my little car there. Wifey's car over there. The house. Again, the addition's going to go over and then down, new garage. All that'll be closed off and connected. Those trees will be gone Monday. The guy starts tearing them down, cutting them down. Let's see what else we got here. I mean, this is just like a very small cabin. Oh, one thing that I thought was pretty cool. Got some VHS in case you need to... What's this one? Young Guns. Come on now, mount up. Regulators. And then I got some DVDs. I got your bugs. Bathroom there. Cool bathroom, whatever. This will be me and wifey's room. Got an air conditioner there, so that's what I need, although it's getting a little cooler now, but you know, I always get one of those hot days or hot nights. And then another bed over here in this little area. You got a little divider thing here. But nice little bed. I think Sawyer said he's going to sleep there. Miles and Grace are going to sleep up in a loft. And then, like I said, wifey and I are there. Yeah, and that's it. So, I think it's a nice little spot. So, but yeah, it's Saturday morning now. It's early. Sawyer has his first flag football game tomorrow, and then today he's got pictures and whatnot, so he's over there ready to roll. But let's talk about a few little things here. Not sure if the footage looks different. I know I was doing a lot with my phone. Tuesday of this week, I've been looking for the last couple months to upgrade. I shouldn't say upgrade because that's not really the right word, but change out my filming and photography system. I wanted to go back to mirrorless. For those who don't know, I had the Sony A7 II, I believe, which I sold all that gear, all my lenses, everything to Mike Panetta, and then I bought from B&H the Canon 5D Mark IV with a 24-105 f4 kit lens. And then I ended up buying the 70-200 2.8 and a nifty 50, like a little $200 lens. That was my kit. The issues with that I had found over the years were, one, with photography, and it's not that big of a deal once you're used to DSLR, but the convenience of probably 2 things. One, with all the new mirrorless systems like what I have now, which we'll talk about in a minute, you get eye tracking, really good pinpoint eye tracking. So with the 5D Mark IV, I would have to put my focus point on the eye, hit it, and then, you know, check, blah, 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 whatever. And then the other thing is having a digital viewfinder, right? So with with DSLR, you literally have the light coming in, hitting the mirror, coming up, and then that's what you're seeing through the viewfinder. So if you make an adjustment to ISO or shutter speed or really anything, you don't see it until you take the picture and look at the back screen. With mirrorless, you have a live view through the viewfinder because there is no mirror to reflect the light up. So you're actually getting an OLED image of what you're shooting. So if you make an adjustment with ISO or anything, you see that in real time through the eyepiece, which I think is just so convenient. The other thing is I feel that DSLR, and this isn't some radical new hot take, but DSLRs are going the way of the dinosaur. I don't think they're going to be around too much longer. You don't really see people manufacturing new DSLRs. I'm sure in 10 years when the new generation of millennials come around, they'll want DSLRs like people are shooting with film now. But the reality is I think mirrorless is the way to go. Honestly, my dream camera was always the 1DX Mark II. And now my dream camera is the R3, which is basically the mirrorless version of that camera. So that sort of tells you where my headspace is. Now, granted, I didn't get that right now. I don't have that kind of money. But what we ended up getting. One more thing I wanted to say that is an upgrade on this system that I have now, which I'll talk about in a second, from what I had. And that is the flip out screen on the camera. So you'll see every once in a while I'm going to be looking over here because this actually has a flip out screen to where I can actually see what I'm vlogging, whereas the 5D Mark IV I had to just sort of know that, hey, I'm in this area, I should be framed good, it is what it is, let's go. So anyways, I'd been getting quotes, online quotes for a long time. I asked B&H, I think a couple years ago, to get me a quote, because that's where I bought all my gear from, for buying it all back, and then what that would give me for a trade-in credit. And for some reason, I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was either two things. One, they either never got back to me, which my contact there is very, very well known for that. And then two, it was either so little that I'm like, screw that, I'll just stick with what I got. So in the last couple of months, I've been emailing online, different places, Adorama, just a couple different places that you can get quotes for trading your stuff in. Most places were offering $2,400. That was for my 5D Mark IV, for the kit 24 to 105 f4 lens, and for my 70 to 200 and the little nifty 50, which in my mind is just sort of throwing it in to get rid of it because I'm not going to use it. Which is it's not a very good deal. I'm sure I could have sold it, privately and got more. It's sort of like with a car, right? You can trade it into a dealership. It's very convenient. It's just boom, boom, boom. It's done. And you're not going to make as much. Or you can sell it privately and probably make, a couple thousand more, 1,000 more, but have all the hassle of dealing with selling it to somebody and meeting up with people and all that kind of stuff. So the original 70 to 200, I think I paid right around $2,000 for it. And then my system, I think I paid like $3,500 with the F4, or $3,200, right in that range. So I took a huge hit on it. And the funny thing is, my kids were like, oh, you basically got this camera for free. And I had to sit them down and be like, no. It didn't cost me anything out of pocket, but it was not free. If you look at it, I sort of took a loss. But then if you look at how long I've had it, it made sense to me. So anyway, I didn't really feel comfortable doing it online to where I was going to send my camera and all my gear out to someone. They were going to inspect it and then say, okay, yeah, we agree with what it is, and then send me the money. Because that was going to leave like a chunk of a week or two where I'd had no camera or anything. And it's been a long time since I haven't had a camera. So I started searching. Since we moved out to this area, I looked in Ann Arbor for a camera store. The first one that came up is a place called Camera Mall, and they do trade-ins and buy your equipment, whatever. So I searched them up, and they're like, come in, we'll take a look at what you got, let you know, trade-in value, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, cool. So I drove up there, not really thinking too much, because I didn't even go to the storage unit and get like the box for it, or like the bag for the 70 to 200, like, and I have the box for that. Like, I didn't get anything. The charger for the camera. I'm like, let me just go up there, see what they say, and then, you know, I'll come back in a couple days after I think about it, whatever. So I go there. The guy's like, okay, let me look at your stuff. What are you interested in? And I had a few things I was interested in, so I'm looking at that. I hadn't been to a camera store. I always ordered B&H, Amazon. Like, I hadn't been to a physical camera store, I don't think ever. So I was like, kid in candy store. So the guy starts looking at my stuff, and, you know, I'm looking around, goes through it, and he's like, okay, this is what we're at. 2,365. So I'm like, okay, well, online they wanted 20, they were going to give me 2,400, and here it's like 40, 50 bucks cheaper, and I don't have to send it out. You know, I'm not getting as much. But for that convenience of just going somewhere, having it done, seeing the person I'm dealing with, that meant a lot to me. That meant that was worth 50 bucks or something. So, and not having to lose my gear for a week or two. So that's what I did right on the spot. You know, the dude, he didn't ask for boxes, didn't ask for the cover. Granted, would that have made a difference? Like, would I got a couple more bucks? I doubt it. Because those same places weren't asking for that online. So I don't think they're looking for that when it comes to used gear. So that's something for me to keep in mind, because I keep my boxes for stuff, but if I end up trading it in. But then again, if I sold it privately, I would want to have the boxes and paperwork and everything. So anyways, right there on the spot, I'm like, boom, okay, let's do it. I was looking at either the A7 III or the EOS R. Now, obviously, I said I have a flip-out screen, so you know I went with the EOS R, but it was a very up-and-down decision. And those were the two that I had in mind from the beginning. Granted, if I would have got more, I would have looked at the EOS R6, but Sony, that was really the range where I was in. It was the A7 III. And I had tried both of these when they had first came out from B&H about 3 years ago. Whenever they came out, I tried both of them from B&H, got them both in. Had a G Master lens for the Sony and an L lens for the EOS R, and loved them both. At the time, I may have even done some videos on it, but I think my preference was the A7 III, and I actually did some shooting, some photography and everything with that camera. At the time, I preferred having the dual camera slots, but it didn't have the flip out, you know, there was trade-offs for both. So what my deciding factor is when I was there, I was like, okay, I had to, because I only had 2,400 bucks, I didn't want to pay anything else out of pocket. We got a lot of stuff going on with the house and everything, so it's not a time to where I can be like, hey, here's another couple grand, let me upgrade this, let me do this. It was like, okay, what can I get for trade-in? Be happy with that, and let's move on. So the kit lens that I got with the EOS R is the one I'm using right now, which doesn't look bad, because if you got a lot of light, it's great, but it is not very good. It is the 24 to 105, and it's like an f4 to f7.1 variable aperture, which I'm not used to. Every lens I've ever had has been fixed aperture, at the very most f4, but most of them were, you know, or my 70-200 was f2.8. And it's very different. Like, that's why when I was outside showing the fishermen, like, if it was my old lens, I would have zoomed in on them because it would have stayed at f4. This one would have like been to 7.1 and you guys wouldn't have seen anything. So I'm not extremely happy with that. I'm getting better with the lens. I'm getting used to just saying, hey, it's a 24 mil prime lens. I'm not going off of f4. That's what it is. But the next day I did go and pick up because I still had, after I got this kit, all I got was the camera and the lens. It was in, you know, the kit. Is I still had like 40 or 50 bucks left, and I'm like, well, just leave that on there. Let me think, and let me do some research on what lenses I want. I'll be back anyways, whatever. I came back the next day and got the RF Nifty 50, which the Nifty 50 on my Mark D 5D Mark IV was probably my most used lens. So I like that lens a lot. And I got the Nifty 50 for this, and I love it. I posted some pictures on Instagram, super happy with it. I love that lens. So small, so compact. But I did reach out to B&H and my contact there, who never gets back to me anymore, and asked him if I could try a few different lenses. I want to try the 70-200 f4, because that's like 1,600 bucks. The f2.8 I think is 2,800 bucks. So I'm going to try the f4 and see what I think. If I don't really like it that much, then I may go 2.8 and just sort of save up for a year. I want to try the 85 millimeter Canon lens. I think the 35. There was a fourth one. I think it's like the Rokinon 14 millimeter fixed. I saw some videos on that and it looked like it was pretty promising. So I think those are the 4 that I requested to try and then see what I like from there. But yeah, so we switched over. So we're still on a Canon. And like I said, my deciding factor was the Sony. I think it was really up in the air. I would have been completely happy with either one, but thinking about how I've been vlogging more and the cameras, the system, and what I'm used to with Canon, it really came down to that. The price point was almost identical, but yeah. So I went with the Canon, and I'm really happy with the flip out screen, the quality of everything, just ease of use. There was no real learning curve like it would have been to get back into Sony. But I mean, Sony's a little bit more compact or whatever, but I got bigger hands, and anyways, I'm super happy with this. So yeah.